I've been having some trouble sleeping for the last few weeks. Actually, for the last few years in some ways.
So what do you do if you can't sleep at 3:30 in the morning? Take the dog out for a walk.
I'll have many weeks in a row where I sleep really well, 7.5 hours a night, fairly solidly. Wake up feeling refreshed, wake up feeling very well rested. But then I'll have several weeks in a row where I not usually struggle to fall asleep. Typically the problem comes after I've slept for an hour and a half, maybe 3 hours, either in the middle of the night when I wake up to use the restroom, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, or when the sun rises. And living outside Boston, Massachusetts, the sun comes up quite early in the morning. It's starting to get light at least at 3:45, 4, 4:30 sometimes. That ends up waking me up. I do have some good dark curtains I can close, and I really like my sleep. I need a fairly decent amount of sleep to feel awake, to feel energetic about my day. If I get consistently 6 or less hours a night for multiple nights in a row, there's changes in my personality, there's changes in how I feel about the world, there's changes in how well I'm able to concentrate on my work. I do like being up early in the mornings. I do like waking up with the light, getting a good early productive start on the day, listening to my audiobook while it's quiet around the house, watering my plants, going for a walk while nobody else is out. I really do enjoy that. I enjoy long, productive mornings. I enjoy waking up early, but it needs to be paired with a good night of sleep to be sustainable long term. So I'm up right now at 3:41. I first went to bed about 9 p.m. Just lay awake for a long time, tried listening to my audiobook for a while, read for a while, got up and had some cereal when my blood sugar was low, went back to bed, listened to my audiobook some more, read. It's just been a long cycle. I did sleep for about an hour and a half, but mostly I've been lying awake, talking some, or lying awake, thinking. I don't feel like I'm especially anxious or especially stressed about things. My mind just keeps on running. It's more things that I'm interested in, things I'm engaged with, things I want to figure out about how the world works, about my plants and the person I met and had a long conversation with the day before. There's a lot of things I'm interested in, my mind engaged with, and it's always asking questions and thinking through things. There are many things that I feel weight of responsibility for. Maybe not anxiety or stress, but I feel a lot of responsibility around my job, around taking care of my house, around being there for to spend time with her, to be supportive to her. And those are things I do lie awake thinking about, but it doesn't feel like stress. Even for many years after I graduated school, I had anxiety dreams about missing classes or showing up and realizing it was halfway through the semester and I hadn't done any homework. But for the past year or so, almost none. That's pretty much in the past. There are a lot of things I try to do to relax in the evening. I used to stretch out very regularly. Every night before I went to sleep, and that was part of my routine and helped a lot. That I have been doing much less. I avoid getting on my phone in the evenings, often go for a walk a while before I sleep, reading my book. That's a really good part of my routine that often helps me fall asleep. There's a lot of things I've considered trying. I think a more regular routine before I go to bed, more often stretching. I think there's some things I should pay attention to in my diet that are going to help. I always need to pay attention to my exercise. I definitely sleep better when I'm exercising regularly. I could be better at staying off my phone in the evenings. I work a engineering job, and I really enjoy my job. I love the details, I love the organization, I love digging into problems and focusing my mind on one individual thing and figuring out how it works. But I can feel the difference after a night of good sleep. After I've gotten sleep, I'm engaged with my job. I don't have problems focusing for an 8-hour workday. I'm interested in it, and I enjoy it. I'm fairly productive. It's a very stark difference after a night or two of not enough sleep. I start having a harder time keeping the details in my head, having a harder time paying attention, making progress, and figuring out. It's much harder to hold multiple things in my head, compare them, figure out the interconnections between different ideas. And I don't enjoy it as much. When I haven't had enough sleep, I don't enjoy it as much. The details feel mundane and monotonous. I used to stress about being up during the night, being up at strange hours, not being able to sleep. I think that was largely associated with schoolwork and then early years at my job, where I needed to very engaged, make a good impression. I'm much more relaxed about it now. I don't love being up in the middle of the night for many nights in a row. I don't stress about it like I used to. It doesn't bother me. I'm not lying awake just wishing I were asleep. I'm lying awake thinking. This is a really nice opportunity to get up, to get around the house, to get things done, to start my day, go for a walk where it's peaceful and much cooler outside. So for me, I'm fairly fortunate. It's not something that's debilitating. It's not something that is drastically changing my life. It's not a severe case of insomnia where it makes it very difficult for me to do a day job, a normal work week. It is potentially a problem. It is potentially a problem if it continues, and it could cause issues with my work. But at the moment, I'm still healthy. I still feel decent. I can still operate even at a slightly lower capacity with less sleep. But I still think it could change. I still think it would be better to be able to sleep regularly. Even if I'm getting up in the morning early, I'd like to be able to go to bed at a decent time, go to bed early, sleep for 7.5 hours, and then wake up early, instead of be up here at 3:30 in the morning, only having an hour and a half of sleep and being pretty confident that I'm not going to sleep again, at least not till maybe a mid-morning nap.